All right, so we're going to begin this discussion today, and I'm happy to be able to talk a little bit at the beginning. So I'm going to talk for a little bit and tell you about some trips I've taken to some very beautiful places. So my theme today is trips to beautiful places. I am a lover of nature. I love traveling, nature, and I've been a lot of places and I want to go a lot more places. So for those of you who are on the Zoom meeting, here in the chat, I asked a few questions. So I would like you to think about these questions while I'm talking and try to answer them. So I know a lot of you maybe don't know a lot of English, but I think this is a good way to practice if we have specific questions that we're asking ourselves. So I'm just going to read the questions for those of you who don't have the chat available. The questions we're going to ask, and then I'll be answering as we talk here this evening, is first of all, what does my family love to do? So what does my family love to do? The second question is, did I travel to Yellowstone National Park in the United States of America when I was 10? So the second question again is, did I travel to Yellowstone National Park when I was 10? The third question is, or not a question actually, this is just an exercise. The third activity is to name a place that I've been to in Mexico. So I've traveled to different places in Mexico, and I'm going to mention some of those. So name one of those places. All right, the fourth question, or the fourth point, is the question, is would I like to go to see the Wall of China? So again, the number 4 is, would I like to go to see the Wall of China? Number 5 again is a statement, and it says, name a place I'd like to travel. So activity number 4 is to name a place I'd like to travel. All right, so I just first of all, I'll give you a little bit of introduction about who I am and how I'm here. So I am from the United States of America. I'm from the state of Wisconsin. I live in a very beautiful place, or I'm from a very beautiful place. I live in a very beautiful place as well. In the summers in Wisconsin, it's very green. We live in the northern United States, so we have a lot of extreme differences in weather. So it's snowy in the winter. We have a distinct fall and spring, and then we have beautiful summers. My absolute favorite time of year is summer, and I love Wisconsin summers. Can get very warm. But so my family, ever since I was very, very young, traveled quite a bit. My mom was from a different state, and so we would travel almost once a year to go visit my aunts and my uncles and my grandparents in the state of Pennsylvania. And then my dad's family lived in Wisconsin, or most of them lived in Wisconsin, and some of them lived in other states as well. So we traveled quite a bit. We didn't do a lot of traveling just for sightseeing. Normally there was some purpose. We were going to visit someone, we were going to this event or that event, but along the way, we had the privilege of visiting a lot of beautiful places. When I was 4 years old, my family started coming to Mexico for the first time. So that also opened my world up to a different culture, different places, different scenery. And I feel like all of that was just very important and fundamental for what I love to do today. So I absolutely love traveling. I love nature. I love seeing beautiful places. My family, like I said, has traveled a lot. My family loves traveling. And so some places I went early in life were Mexico, of course. I also remember a trip we took, I don't remember how old I was. to Niagara Falls in New York, or it's on the border of New York and Canada. It's very beautiful. It's just incredible falls, a lot of water going over the falls. So that was a lot of fun. I was going to share some pictures, but I didn't have time to get all those ready. So I'm just gonna do a lot of describing. So Niagara Falls is a lot of water going over falls. It's very damp and wet. It's beautiful and colorful. We were there in the summer, so it was green, and that was a lot of fun. I think it was mid-July we were there. And then traveling to Mexico, we would always travel to Mexico in the winter. So we were down here in Mexico during December, January, February, a lot of years. So we would leave Wisconsin when it was cold and come down here and enjoy some more green. So some very memorable trips to me would be a drive. We drove one time all the way down to Nicaragua. So along the way, we saw just a lot of scenery. I remember stopping at the beach in El Salvador, and I saw some very, very big waves. So we were on the beach in El Salvador. There was rocky, there was sand some places, and the waves were just very, very big. I remember being surprised by how big the waves were. And we got to watch the sunset. Yeah, it would have been the sunset there on the beach in El Salvador. Then we also traveled down further to Nicaragua, went to the beach there as well. We climbed some mountains. It's another thing I love to do. I love climbing mountains. We were actually able to go to some volcanoes. There's a little volcano in Nicaragua called Cerro Negro. It is active, so you can walk up it. It's a lot of loose gravel, kind of loose, what do you call it? Like the volcanic gravel kind of stuff. And there were different places where, like, if you put your feet in the dirt, your feet would get warm because there was a lot of volcanic activity. But that was a lot of fun, super interesting for me. So when we traveled down from Mexico to Nicaragua, we traveled through Guatemala, Honduras, El Salvador. And I just remember seeing so many different scenes, a lot of tropical scenes, a lot of tropical vegetation, a lot of very hot weather, but it was a lot of fun. Another place I traveled to a lot, as I mentioned before, was Pennsylvania. My mom is from Pennsylvania. And one time I traveled with my sister to visit a friend in northern Pennsylvania. So northern Pennsylvania has a lot of mountains, part of the Appalachian Mountains, and they're very, very beautiful. And I really enjoyed seeing those mountains and traveling through those. Another place I traveled to more recently, I guess this was in 2018, so like 4 years ago. My family and I traveled to Yellowstone National Park. So the United States has a lot of very beautiful places, a lot of beautiful national parks. And we had the privilege of going there. There's a lot of mountains there as well. It's on the edge of the Rocky Mountains. And there's a lot of wildlife. There are some grizzly bears, elk, what else? A lot of buffalo, Yellowstone National Park. It's super cool. So if you ever have a chance to go to Yellowstone National Park, definitely do that. So let's see. So a few places I've been to in Mexico, just very local places to hear where I live. I live in Puebla, state of Puebla. Las Hamacas. So it's a very small town, but it has some beautiful falls and it's really beautiful. I visited recently Zacatlan de las Manzanas, and that's a very, very beautiful place as well. There are a lot of places I would like to visit. I think definitely my list of places I would like to visit is a lot longer than the places I've visited. So I would love to visit the Swiss Alps. That's on my to-do list for sure. The Wall of China, I think would be super cool. It's something just really famous, very well known, and I would love to travel and see the Wall of China. I would also like to see India, especially some of their beaches and places, cities. I don't know. I'm just fascinated by things like that. I would love to go to Nepal. I know Nepal has a lot of mountains. I have a fascination for mountains, so I would love to go to Nepal sometime and see the mountains. I really want to go to the west coast of the United States. I've never been to the west coast in the United States, so I'm going to do that sometime. And also the Grand Canyon. I haven't seen the Grand Canyon, so I'd like to go there. There's also a place not very far from here in Mexico, Las Cascadas de Tuliman, and I would really like to go there. So I guess for me, traveling is just something. All right. So I love traveling and it means a lot to me and I want to keep doing it. All right. So we're going to open this up for the rest of you guys. I'm going to ask a few questions and I would. All right. So yeah, I'm going to say goodbye to all of you for the transmission on YouTube, and we'll continue with the ones here on the Zoom chat. Little discussion.